Well, welcome to another Memphis Monday 124. Today we're going to gather up a bunch of scrap wood from the wood bench, from projects we've done over the last month or so, and we're going to form them into a nice quarter-sawn panels. And I'm going to tell you the difference between quarter-sawn and plain-sawn, and I'm going to show you how to put them together and make them look really good like this. But we're not going to get anything done. We're not going to get any quarter-sawn done. We're not going to make any panels. We're not going to do nothing unless we do what? That's right. Let's knock off the chatter and get to work. It's never this clear cut when you buy wood, but generally there's two kinds of ways that wood is sawn. One is called plain-sawn, and if you look at the end of the board, it'll look like this. And then the other is quarter-sawn, and the growth rings go this way. And on the front of the board, it'll have this sort of pattern on it if it's plain-sawn, and it'll have this pattern on it if it's quarter-sawn. Let's look at some real-life examples. Okay, here's the 2x4. You can see this is plain-sawn, and if you go to the end, it'll look like that. And this is quarter-sawn right here. At least this part right here is. And if you look at the end, see how the grain's on the right going straight up and down. And that brings us to the question at hand. If you remember in Memphis Monday 120, we used this lap-sided paneling to make those kitchen doors. And so now we have all this scrap lumber. What do we do with it? We can throw it away, or we can use it as a we can use it as a resource to make us some quarter-sawn stock. See how we're going to do that. This is our plain-sawn lap siding, and here you can see the grain. And we want that grain to go that way. So what we're going to do is trim this down and glue the trimmed down portions together until we make some hopefully very attractive quarter-sawn pine. So the first step in the process is to run this pine through the table saw and cut the lap off of it right there. Let's do that. Okay, I got that first rabbit off there. Now what I need to do is you can see this other rabbit on this side. I'm going to cut it right down through there. Now this is what we're trying to save. Maybe this too, if we can get enough of them, and then that'll be the thickness of our laid up stock. So let's make a cut right through there at 3/4 of an inch. Here's my stock. You can already see the nice grain pattern. Well, let's get in there close and take a look at it. Here I squeezed them together. You can kind of see what we're going for here. So now the deal is I'm going to cut these pieces into about 4-foot lengths and see how many boards we can come up with. Okay, I think what we'll do is we're gonna just put this thing together as a single 12-inch panel, and then if we build something with it later on, you know, we can cut boards off of it as we need. What do you think? Okay, let's glue it up as a 12-inch panel. What I'm gonna do is I'll lay it out on the bar clamps, the pipe clamps, and I'll fill in as necessary with the bar clamps. Now I got all the glue on there. Now I need to get some clamping pressure on it. Now I got these cross clamps to kind of keep everything in order. Now I'll put some bar clamps on it. Now the reason I put these cross clamps on here first is to preclude the possibility of the board cupping when I apply clamping pressure. Now let's see if we can make us a board out of this stock here. I got the stock all sized and cut to length. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to break this one down and use the clamps, these clamps, for that other board over there. Got our second board all glued up. Looks like it's going to take pretty good. Over here's our first board. What I'm doing now is, you can see the glue lines there. I just got to scrape that glue off before I put it through the planer. I got an old wood chisel here I use for this job. There's our second glue up. I'm going to set the camera here by the thickness planer so you can see it come out of the planer. Tell you what, this one came out better than the other one. Okay, let's do one in oak now. Get up there in our wood pile. See this, the rings on that board right there. You can see that about half of the growth rings on this board are vertical. Down here it's they're flatter, but about half this board is already quarter-sawn, so we're going to leave this one alone. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Is that oak or is that pine? Well, it looks like pine because that is just about as plain sawn as you can get. Let's look at the end grain and see why. Here's the end grain. You can see that the end grain from end to end is horizontal all the way. So what we need to do is cut sections off this and flip this board up like that so that we get the quarter-sawn effect. I'm going to saw off about 7/8 of an inch, and that will be the thickness of our panel, and then we can plane it down to 3/4. Getting ahead of myself again, I'm going to cut these into 4-foot sections before I do them on the table saw, so I don't have to cut each individual piece separately. This might be something interesting. You notice the burn marks on here? Well, that can be caused from a dull saw blade, I guess. But these burn marks were caused because my blade was about 1/2 degree out of vertical. And you can tell the difference if I pull one of these up and look on the other side. See, it's not burnt. So I could tell that the blade was leaning towards this burnt side here. Okay, we're going to lay these up just like we did the others, except I'll be taking a little bit extra time to make sure that the glue, I put the glue on better. I didn't even spread it out on the other layups because not only is this better wood, pine glues up a little bit better than oak. So on this layup, I'll spread the glue out. Problem with spreading it out is it reduces your pot life a little bit, and you got to work a little faster. But I don't want any glue-starved joints on this because I think it's going to turn out pretty good. Another way to glue these, and I think this is the way we did it on the tour table a couple years ago, is you can just lay all the boards out, flip the side up that you want to glue, and then glue them all at one time. I just chose not to do that this time. Then you got to get a roller and a brush and all that stuff. Saves you a little time, but doesn't do any better job. Okay, another thing that spreading the glue out does is the glue will thicken a little bit when you spread it out. So theoretically you have a little bit less squeeze out. Let's test that theory. Okay, same deal here. I'm gonna put these cross braces on just to make sure nothing cups when I put the rest of the braces on. When I put the rest of the clamps on. There it is. The glue up's all done, and I'll tell you that's really going to look good. Tell you what, let's time travel a little bit. And the next thing you'll see is this thing coming out of the thickness planer. I forgot to mention this when I was talking about these black marks, because somebody's going to ask, well, why didn't you just straighten out that saw blade half a degree so you don't leave these marks? Well, of course, I would have done that if I was cutting trim or cutting, some wood somewhere. It's easy enough to do. But in this case, I wanted to mark the side that I wanted up. So by leaving these marks in here, I know when I glued it up, every board should have burn marks on it. So it was easy to keep my stock in order that way. Well, there's our oak board. Remember, we started out with that ugly oak board and some various scraps. Now we got all this figure in there. Well, there's our quarter-sawn panels. We got oak here. Came out real nice. You can see the figure there, and I kind of spaced the wood out, give it that symmetrical pattern. Here's some quarter-sawn pine panels, and there's some more scrap oak I made into a panel offline. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Well, that'll do it for another Memphis Monday 124. We made some quarter-sawn panels. We made 2 oak panels and 2 pine panels. And another question we might get is, why in the heck would you go to all the trouble of taking your scrap wood and make it into panels like this? Well, any of these panels, if you buy them commercially, it's very expensive. But who cares about that? I think they just look good, and I think we're going to make some good projects with them. But that's all I got. Like and favorite and share and comment. Make sure you comment. But that's all I got. Nope, one more thing. Make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.